may I now invite Mr. Analjit Singh, Chairman, Mohali Campus Advisory Board, to talk of the journey so far at Mohali Campus.
Thank you very much. Honorable Finance Minister, respected Chief Minister Sahab, Sukhbir, Deputy Chief Minister Punjab, who was with us for lunch, Shri Rakesh Singh, Chief Secretary Punjab, members of our ISB board, friends, students, past and present of ISB, ladies and gentlemen. Let me briefly retrace some steps. This day marks the culmination of a journey that started around 6 years ago, when the Prime Minister of India announced a Premier Management Institute, PMI, in Knowledge City, Mohali. Specifically on September 9th, 2007, we received a letter from the then Chief Secretary of Punjab, and you're very welcome, sir. Thank you for joining us, Sardar Rameshinder Singh ji, who's here, calling for a meeting at Kapurthala House in Delhi under the chairmanship of Mr. T.K. Nair, till recently the Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister. Let me read one excerpt from that letter. It said, Punjab government is making all efforts to provide world-class educational facilities for higher education and research for students in this region. The state government is exploring the possibility to have a tie-up with a world-class management institute, in addition looking for active participation of corporate houses as a major stakeholder in such a prestigious project. In the meeting with Mr. Nair, I asked him what this letter from the Punjab Chief Secretary meant, to which he replied, I know all of you, why don't you and some of your friends set up this institute? The rest, as they say, is history, and the geography of ISP's second campus has been set up with the combined support from the Hero Group, Bharti Enterprises, Punj Lloyd, and Max India. All four groups have been giving of their time, energy, and a contribution of 50 crores per group, making a total of about 200 crores plus. Despite some initial roadblocks that we faced in terms of land allocation and leasing arrangements and the usual challenges in a project, the life of a project, we broke ground only on August 11th, 2010. And the Honorable Chief Minister was asking me just now, was it really only 2010? And I said, yes, sir, you remember the very rainy day it was. And yes, it was literally 2 years ago. And ISB was able to commence its operations as planned on the scheduled date of April 14th of this year. On that day, or that week I should say, 200 students, as part of the first class of 2013, arrived at this modern and beautiful 70-acre campus, entering our flagship postgraduate program of management. I must thank profusely and honestly the government of Punjab, and especially the Honorable Chief Minister, our Badal Sahab, and the supportive chief secretaries then and now, Gamara, and various other Punjab government officials for having remained steadfast in their commitment for setting up this institute. And I can tell you all that every 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, the Honorable Chief Minister would call and his Principal Secretary would say, the CM wants to talk to you. And I would say, oh my God, now what? And he every time called to find out how the progress was going, if there was anything coming in our way of execution. And very, very religiously and diligently, every 4 to 6 weeks, found me in any part of the world to ask me what the progress was. So that's the brief story. As for us, the Max Group is committed to foster talent development and healthcare management, a managerial capability very scant in India, and hence our sponsorship of the Max Institute of Healthcare with Wharton at ISB in Mohali, along with the Bharti Institute of Public Policy, with the Fletcher School of Public Policy, the Munjal Global Manufacturing Institute, with MIT, the Punj Lloyd Institute of Physical Infrastructure Management, also with MIT. These four institutes make up ISB's Mohali Campus's unique program. It is the first time that a top-ranked business school anywhere in the world will offer a core MBA with specialization in these four functional areas. Now a word about the potential of this ecosystem where we sit today. When the ISB campus started in Gachibowli in Hyderabad, Gachibowli was a barren stretch of land. To paraphrase a Sherlock Holmes expression, we proved to be the stormy petrels of development. However, in the last decade, Gachibowli has transformed itself into one of Asia's pioneering technology hubs, with several top global companies having established their mammoth campuses there. Mohali of today is in much better shape than Gachibowli was then. And if given right policy, direction, governance, then I can assure you that in another 5 years, this entire 40-kilometer stretch from one side of Mohali going on to Ropar will emerge as a zone of corporate excellence and an education hub, something that this region has required for a long time. With that thought, I will soon take your leave. My earnest thanks to the Finance Minister, to our Honorable Finance Minister, Mr. P. Chidambaram, for coming all the way to Mohali to be with us. Mr. Chidambaram is a stalwart of the Indian legal system, financial reform, and polity. You will recall that as the Union Finance Minister in '97, he presented what was rightly acclaimed as the dream budget for the country, which paved the way for impressive growth of the Indian economy in the following years. Post the horrific events of 26/11, he was appointed the Union Home Minister, a role he performed with his trademark competence. Recently, it was not surprising that when the Prime Minister needed and wanted someone to steer the Indian economy back on its rails, he brought back Mr. P. Chidambaram as the Finance Minister. And this, I think, has been a sigh of relief for corporate India and for India at large. Felicitations to my fellow ISB board members. It is a time to commemorate an important milestone in our journey. When we were setting up the ISB campus in Hyderabad, we found the encouragement in the words from Victor Hugo, which says, "Nothing can stop an idea whose time has come." And finally, on a personal note, I have enjoyed the somewhat rather challenging journey in spearheading the ISB Mohali initiative as its chairman of the Mohali Campus Advisory Board, and today hand over to my dear friend Sunil Munjal to take my place and lead the continuing progress of this arm of ISB forward. Thank you, respected sirs, ladies and gentlemen, and Jai Hind.